Governor Cuomo and Mayor de Blasio have a good plan to pay to fix the subways, but how it is carried out matters. At long last, New York is getting what it deserves, broad agreement from Governor Andrew Cuomo and Mayor Bill de Blasio to address the subway crisis that has frustrated millions of people and hobbled the economy of the largest city in the United States. The two men, both Democrats, have wasted years in a damaging rivalry that has stymied progress on crucial infrastructure, like mass transit and housing. On Tuesday, they overcame their animus and released a plan to raise revenue for long-overdue subway repairs and to reform the Metropolitan Transportation Authority, which runs the subways, buses and the region's commuter rails. At the heart of the proposal is a version of congestion pricing, which Mr. de Blasio finally backed outright for the first time, reason enough to cheer. Also included in the proposal are revenue from planned sales taxes on marijuana, which the legislature is expected to legalize soon in the state, and money from an internet sales tax. The plan calls for loosely limiting fare increases to inflation of no more than 2% a year. State and city officials said the $1.4 billion a year raised by the plan could be used to back bonds of $20 billion to $22 billion over 5 years, roughly the estimate of many advocates of congestion pricing as well. According to a news release from the governor and mayor, those new funds would be dedicated to the M.T.A.'s capital needs, with priority given to the subway system. Fare increases would go toward running the subways and buses. Now, state legislators will have to approve the plan, but votes for congestion pricing could be hard to come by. It will be up to the governor, as well as the state Senate Majority Leader, Stewart-Cousins, and the Assembly Speaker, Carl Heasta, to persuade their colleagues of its merits. This latest plan still leaves several details to be determined, but concessions have already been made. For example, it doesn't include tolls on East River bridges, as past versions have, instead digitally collecting a fee only on vehicles that enter the busiest part of Manhattan, below 61st Street. The mayor can use his bully pulpit to push for the plan. As the legislation takes shape in the coming weeks, there are several other things to look out for. While avoiding tolls on the East River bridges may make the plan more appealing to state lawmakers and others, it also leaves money on the table that the transit system needs. The subways serve the most riders and are in the gravest state of disrepair. They need the most help. Because of that, the legislation ought to include a guarantee that an overwhelming majority of money generated by this plan will be permanently allocated for the subway system. The rest of the money, say 20%, could be used to upgrade commuter rails and improve service in so-called transit deserts in the boroughs outside Manhattan. The proposal calls for the consolidation of the 6 entities within the M.T.A., a smart move that could cut costs and make the authority more efficient. Yet finding the deepest savings may require the state to renegotiate contracts with transit unions to change work rules. Ultimately, it may also mean consolidating the workforces of the Long Island Railroad and Metro-North Railroad. And as the state changes the way contracts for major projects are negotiated, a needed fix, there should be far more transparency about bidding and procurement processes. More transparency is also needed around where the agency's dollars actually go, and how they benefit subway riders compared with commuter rail passengers. An independent audit called for under the proposal is a good place to begin, but the public should be able to easily review these figures in the long term as well. State lawmakers may want to consider adding other sources of revenue. Reinstating the 0.45% commuter tax on the incomes of people who live in the New York suburbs would be one good idea. A former M.T.A. chairman has said the agency contributes 7 times more to each Long Island Railroad ride, and 4 times more to each Metro-North Railroad ride, than to each subway ride. Another idea worth considering is to tax second homes in New York City worth $5 million or more, known as the pied-à-terre tax. Does the M.T.A. need to create a 6-member oversight board for capital construction and congestion pricing, as the proposal suggests? It's an idea that deserves careful consideration, especially since the purpose of the restructuring is to create clear accountability for the agency, not add more bureaucracy. So there is work to do. But this latest proposal from the governor and the mayor is also the first sign that New York's elected officials may indeed be capable of rising to meet the state's most pressing challenges. Let's hope the legislature is, too.